students. Continuing the chapter Glimpses of the Past, we were reading. So far in the chapter, we read first of all about the East India Company, how it came and how it took benefit of the short-sightedness of Indian princes who were fighting each other. Then we read about Tipu Sultan of Mysore. Then in British rule, we read the condition of the society at that time, how bad shape it was in. Heavy taxes were levied by the British upon the farmers. Then we read about a great social reformer, Raja Ram Mohan Roy, who fought against it, who tried to aware the Indian people. Then we read about the oppressive policies of Britishers, how they passed some resolution in 1818 which could send the Indians to jail without any trial in the court. Even the British government Governor General Lord Bentinck, we read he wrote about the condition of the Indian people, farmers, especially the cotton weavers. Now continuing from there, dissatisfaction during 1835 and 56. So after a lot of suffering by the Indian people, when it was out of limit, they could not stand it anymore, how dissatisfaction grew. In 1835, Lord Macaulay suggested that the medium of education in India should be English. At that time it was Persian and Sanskrit, but he suggested that it should be only in English, and his suggestion was taken, his suggestion was carried out, and the aim of this was to produce a lot of people who could work like clerks in offices to assist the British. It happened, but it also produced a new generation of intellectuals. The main aim of introducing English education in India was just to make some office clerks who can work for English people. They never wanted Indian people to rise up, but because of education, some people understood, realized, some intellectual people also grown, and some of them tried to educate the other people. Some decided to convey the grief, the problems of the people to the British Parliament, and by 1856 the British were ruling the whole of India. Now they cared little, very little about Indian needs. So the dissatisfaction in the public began to grow, and people wanted to get rid of the British. So how the spark of the Great Revolution of 1857, the revolt of 1857, how it started, the sparks of that, what happened, under the new rules, Santals was a tribe community. Those became desperate, they revolted. In 1855 they rose in rebellion, means they stood against and killed the Europeans and their several servants. So the discontent was growing, the dissatisfaction was growing in the East India Company's army also. where Indian people were employed in the army, like Mangal Pandey, who was a sepoy in East India Company's army. He attacked the adjutant of his regiment. For that, as punishment, he was executed, given the death penalty. The English did not care about Indian customs. Chapatis were sent from village to village. With them was the message that their native emperor would want their services. Similarly, a lotus flower was circulated among Indian soldiers. The masses also gave all help and support. You must have heard the story why Mangal Pandey started that revolt when they heard about the animal fat, especially the fat of cows and pigs used in the gunpowder and the cartridges, which was against the Hindu and Muslim religion. So they became rebellion and that revolt started. Remember, chapati and the flower lotus were two big symbols of that revolt at that time. Sending chapatis and with the hidden messages inside those chapatis were circulated among village to village, asking for people to join, and they wanted their local emperor Muhammad Bahadur Shah Jafar, who also stood against. So to help him, it was an appeal to people. Messages were given using the chapati and the lotus flower. This way, the sparks began. And finally, the revolt of 1857 started at the Kant area of Meerut. Violent outbreak it was. The sepoy who had revolted marched to Delhi. They moved to Delhi in support the emperor at Delhi, Bahadur Shah Jafar. They were shouting the slogans in favor of Bahadur Shah Jafar, and the rebellion spread wider and wider. Many landlords had lost their lands in the hands of British. They also helped the revolt. And finally, the fight for freedom. Many rulers like Hazrat Mahal of Lucknow, Begum Hazrat Mahal of Lucknow, they all were now becoming bitter and bitter for British rules. The English had taken away their kingdom. Popular leaders like Maulvi Ahmadullah of Faizabad urged the common man to stand in support to revolt. Similarly, Azimullah Khan told Tatya Tope to make Nana Sahib the leader of the war of the independence. Nana Sahib, Peshwa and Tatya Tope were another two important figures in the freedom fight. So Azimullah Khan was the person who suggested Tatya Tope to make Nana Sahib as their leader of this fight for independence. So all over the North India, the people fought small battles, pitched battles against the British. Here at that time, the king of Bihar, Kunwar Singh, a very inspiring story goes with him. The 80-year-old, he was at that time 80-year-old Kunwar Singh of Bihar, when he was fighting, a bullet hit him on his wrist. He was on a boat crossing the river Ganga, and suddenly a bullet came and hit him on his hand, on his wrist. But how brave, how big sacrifice he did. He just cut his wrist and throwing it into Ganga, he said that it was just his last offering. He said ki the hand which has received the bullet of English people, he cannot have that hand anymore. So he cut his own hand and threw it into Ganga, river Ganga, saying that it was his last offering. So such brave people were there who fought for the freedom of India. So these were some glimpses of our past, our freedom struggle, and the chapter completes here. Next day I will be sending you the question answers. Okay, that's all. Thank you. Bye bye.